Open your mind.
Hey out there, this is Buzz with TheSurvivalBuzz. So a lot of weekends I work in a Mexican nightclub of all places. I do security there. And I guess it was the weekend before last. I was working at the club. Stayed after. A lot of times the owner there, he's got friends or family or whoever, big groups of people that want to stay over and hang out after hours, which I'm pretty sure is probably highly illegal, but that's neither here nor there. And so there was a good probably dozen people hanging out, me and the other security guy. He's a huge gorilla type guy, so most of the time I don't even worry. But he had to follow the owner home because the owner had a lot of money on him, didn't want to take any chances. And I got stuck there with about a dozen people and a couple employees, like bartenders and people hanging out. And they no more than left, and all of a sudden they start cussing in Spanish. Most of the people there don't speak a word of English, but I could kind of tell things were getting kind of beefed up there, and went to kind of say, hey, you guys need to go on your way and get out of here. They start throwing punches. Next thing I know, I hear glass shattering, and I look up. There's one guy that's got his head split wide open, blood just gushing out everywhere. I don't know if he purposely got cut with a bottle or what exactly happened. It happened so quick, and just a huge group of people everywhere. And I went to hold one guy back, and next thing you know, somebody's coming over my shoulder, plowing the guy in the face. So I kind of just backed up. I felt like at the moment it wasn't worth me getting killed over it, stomped to death by a bunch of people. Let them throw a couple punches, got in there, split them up. They went on their way, no big deal. But even the guy that had his head split wide open, blood just gushing everywhere, he was more concerned about the authorities and getting in trouble than actually getting medical attention at the moment. And the area that this club is in is, a lot of people call it Little Mexico because there for a good square mile or so, there's hardly any signs in English anywhere. Everything's Spanish, taco stands everywhere. Spanish supermarkets, you name it. And it's pretty much a no-go zone for the police department, the local police, the authorities. They don't go there to save their life. You pretty much got to drag them out. Even if there's gunshots and things like that, at times they drag their feet about even coming out there. Mainly because there's so many illegals and stuff in that area that, a lot of times their hands are tied on what they can do without getting in trouble themselves. They don't want to deal with it, so they just ignore it. And that kind of gets to my point is that, everybody's waiting for this big extravagant event. There's that little buzzword in the prepping community, Wrol, without rule of law. And everybody's waiting for this big event I guess everybody's going to go crazy, running through the streets, killing everybody and stealing from everybody. But I don't really picture it like that. And so the point here is, you already have this little Mexico area. You have all these illegal people there that don't care about the law. They're above the law. They're not a citizen anyways. So they kind of just do whatever they want. So those people are already without rule of law. God forbid you get hit in your car by one of them driving without insurance or something, because you'll never get your car fixed. And getting the police to come out if you live in that area is pretty hard to do as well. So it comes to the point, when have the American citizens, the actual Americans, the people that grew up here or came across here legally, when have they had enough? When is it time for without rule of law for them? And I kind of had a little analogy, let me ask you all a question here. If you were sitting in your house one night, just hanging out, watching TV, eating popcorn, whatever, and all of a sudden you hear a noise and you go back to your back bedroom and there's, several people you don't know just kicked back, hanging out in your bedroom. And so you call the authorities over, and the authorities show up and they're They're like, well, there's nothing we can do about this. And you're like, what do you mean there's nothing you can do about these people broke into my home? They're squatting in my house, I pay to live here. And they're like, well, we're going to contact your HOA. And so your HOA comes and they're like, yeah, these people are fine. We're going to allow them to stay here. We're actually going to give them this room for free in your home that you pay for. And we're going to give these people some money. We're going to make sure they have plenty of food. We're going to, give them food. And we're going to let them stay here for free. We'll give them a court date, 6 months to a year or so down the line that I'm sure they'll show up for. But till then, we're going to allow them to stay in your home. There's nothing you can do about it if you want to live here, And you're thinking in the back of your head, I pay my dues. I pay my HOA dues every year. I cut my grass like it's supposed to be. I make sure everything's the way it's supposed to be around my house to, go with the guidelines of the HOA. And all the time you have these people living in your back bedroom, right? And they're eating for free. They're staying there for free. They help themselves to your refrigerator and the cable you pay for and everything. How do you think that would work? How long do you think you would actually live there? But then you think, this is the home of my dreams. This is the best house to live in. I've looked everywhere else, and this is where I want to live. So I'll just deal with it for a while, no big deal. And the next thing you know, you got several more people living in your home. Now they're taking over another bedroom of your home, and HOA shows back up, and they're like, oh yeah, by the way, these people are going to stay here as well. Gives them some money, make sure they got food and everything. And at the same time, they're like, oh, by the way, your HOA dues are going to go up next month. So we're going to go ahead and hike your rate up because we got to help pay for these people in your house, and you're like, I didn't even want these people in my house. This is my house. Why am I paying for them? And now I got to pay even more. Seems rather ridiculous when you put it like that, doesn't it? And I kind of feel like that's the way we are with our country right now. That's the predicament we're in. And eventually, the actual citizens of this country are going to have enough. They're going to have enough with supporting all this crap. They're going to have enough with, dishing out half their paycheck to the local government for the federal government to help with all this. They're going to get sick of those rates going up. There's already all this division going on with the crap going in Gaza, the inflation is sky high, open borders, people losing their jobs, talks of this white lung crap that could possibly shut everything down again, a second dose of what we lived through a few years ago. So I ask you, when is it enough? When have people had enough of this crap? When are they going to finally stand up to this? When are the people actually going to get sick of it and they're going to go back and bust that back bedroom door down and say, get out of my house, and I'm not paying my dues this year? When is that time going to come? When have people had enough? I think we're reaching that point. And you better be prepared for when it does happen, because it's not going to be some Mad Max episode. It's not going to be glamorized like you want it to be. It's going to be out for everybody out for their own. So take care of yourselves and your family. God bless y'all, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Later.